So here I am inside of the semi. I have 2 days off, 2 days free, and at the end of that 2 days, I have a rather lofty goal. You see, the weather here has finally changed. It is beautiful out. It's going to be beautiful these 2 days that I am off. I want to get this metal skeleton secured down into the floor. You'll see how we're going to do that. Get the last couple pieces welded in to get it together. Clean, prep all the metal, and get it painted black. Can I do all of that in 2 days? Because if we get that done, then we can start putting lights up. We can start putting the burnt orange 80s panels over there. I mean, this is huge if I can get this done. So I'm bringing you along with me. Let's see how on track I can stay and see if I can get all of this done. You with me? Here we go. All right, so just a super quick recap. You saw in previous videos, hopefully, how we got these cross bracing panels in, these 4 here. In subsequent videos, I've been working on the other panels down there. And we've got, of course, have the correct corrugated metal behind here, but it's covered in plastic, covered in butcher paper just to keep it protected, especially when we go to paint all of this. And before you ask, why didn't you paint this out here? Well, that we would have ended up scuffing it quite a bit just getting it installed. So this made much more sense. Now, the walls on the trailer are just a little bit wonky here and there. And you'll see over here see how there's a gap behind the frame? So using my hand, I can't push that in. We had an even bigger gap on this end. So what I did right before this video is I used this hydraulic jack, as you can see here, and gently push those in. So now these corners rest right up against the wall where we want them. Now, of course, if I were to take this off, they would flex back in. So trying to figure out the best way to secure this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right through here, down through the floor, and bolt it in here and over there. Then I should be able to release this. That will stay. We'll do the same thing at that end, and then that'll keep these walls exactly where they need to be. And between the bolts down there and the cross members up here, it will be pretty much a cage, right? That cannot move. And that should be absolutely perfect. And then once we get that secured, we'll have to weld in the connecting pieces. So we have the next 3 down here, those are all done. But we'll have to get these connected here, and then we'll have one solid skeleton the whole way down. So let's just get started and see what happens. Probably, see, the problem is trying to get a straight down shot. So it's gonna have to be off center a little bit, which should be fine. That's not gonna matter. And then we'll put a bolt down in there. And we can't really go any further over because of these cross braces. So I think that'll probably work. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's put a little oil there. Let's just see what happens. Oh, let's turn it on to drill. There we go. So we got through the top. Let's put a little oil down there, see if we can get all the way through. All right, now, obviously the big question is, I don't think this drill bit is long enough. All right, so since I don't have a longer drill bit with me, I had what might be a brilliant idea. I released the pressure on the hydraulic jack, and you can see how much this moved. And now I can access that bottom hole. So I went ahead and upgraded to a slightly larger bit. We're gonna put just a little bit of, and then we'll drill this one, then we'll drill this top one. Perfect. Okay, so now we got that hole. So now we're gonna put the pressure back on this and we'll get this back into place. There we go. So now we're back, we're tight there. So now we'll drill this hole, and with any luck, this will just kind of work itself out. Just put a little bit of juice in there. Well, I can see daylight. Might need a little bit of a hammer. I'll go grab a hammer. Hey. So, looks like we might be off just a little bit. Let's see if I can. That should work. All right. Beautiful. Now we'll bolt that in, and the nice thing is, once we paint that black, you're not really gonna even notice that. So, excellent. All right, so I got that bolt in, and I already went underneath and put the nut on. So I should be able to release this pressure, and hopefully, well, if it doesn't stay, then we have a real big problem, because that means it's ripping the floor out. But anyways, let me release the pressure here and see if that wants to stay. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, that's, I am pleased with that. So that's right up against the wall. Beautiful. Yeah, the original set probably didn't have bolts, but a small concession, especially considering we're going to be hauling a car in here. We want these secure, so that is secure. Now, we got to do the same thing over here. This side isn't as bad. We're going to do the same thing over here. Put a hole there all the way through. And then we'll have this back half done. Then we just got to do that half down there. Nice. All right, so now that these are all bolted in beautifully, as you can see, very happy with how that turned out. Now we're going to turn our attention to getting these connecting pieces welded in. So you can see off camera, I went ahead and I got everything lined up, strapped. That's actually just being held in by the pressure of the ratchet strap, but I got that in there, same with that one and this one. So now it's time to get those welded in, and then the entire skeleton, I keep calling it a skeleton, frame, whatever, will all be connected. Let's go. Well, I'm definitely not an expert welder, but I'm pretty happy with how those turned out. Just gonna clean them up a little bit and then it'll be good for paint. But we are now officially connected on this side. So now we're gonna turn our attention, get this side connected, and we'll be done. All right, welding's done. Now for yet another fun part. I have to prep all of this metal. So before we put this metal in, we did prep and prime the backs of it. So everything is primed in the back. It's just the fronts we never did anything with. So this is, for the most part, still bare steel. And if I bring you in a little closer, you'll see there's a very little bit of surface rust that has shown through. We installed these last fall, so it's been dry in here, but just a little bit of humidity and moisture from the winter has done that. So we're gonna get this all sanded, degrease everything, and then that'll be the end of day one. Day two tomorrow. Hopefully we're gonna get this all primed and painted black. So let's go. All right, so I'm not going to subject you to, I don't know, 1-2 hours of me sanding. So we'll snap our fingers and it'll be done. Guess you can't really snap with gloves on. All right, it's day two, and I didn't film this because it's boring, but I got all of the metal structure, I got it all scuffed, and I got it all cleaned and prepped and ready to go. So the only thing left to do before paint is to mask a few things off. Mainly this diamond plate floor. We don't want a black diamond plate floor. So I'm gonna mask this off. I already took a leaf blower, I blew all the junk out of here. So everything's nice and clean, it's ready to go. I'm not going to worry about masking any of the wood here, and here's why. First of all of this wood is brand new, I put in. So nothing, this wood is not from the show, and it's going to be completely covered up anyways. So there's no sense wasting time or materials to mask all that wood off. Over here, this is original wood, but it had been painted after the show ended. So we wouldn't be covering over any original paint in here, and this is all going to be covered anyways. So just to make things easier on myself, I'm pretty much just gonna mask off the diamond plate floor and just throw a blanket, something over all this so I don't get overspray on all that stuff. I got everything shoved up in the lounge area. So let's go ahead and get set up for paint. All right, quick pause here. It's time to go over our latest Patreon flag agent and night trustee questions and to give a shout out to our newest members. So, real brief, for those of you who aren't familiar, we have a Patreon community. And this is a group of Knight Rider super fans that have joined. And when you become a Patreon supporter, you get early access to all of our videos. You get behind the scenes photos and videos and all kinds of sneak peeks, stuff that we never publish publicly. We have 5 tiers now of support. And our top 2 tiers are our flag agents and our night trustees. So regardless of your level, if you become a Patreon supporter, you get a discount on our knightriderhistorians.com store. But if you're a flag agent or a night trustee, you get some extra special perks. One, when you become either of those levels, I'll give you a shout out, which you'll see here in a second. And 2, you can submit any Knight Rider questions through the Patreon messaging system, and I will answer them in a future video. So today we're going to answer some Patreon questions. And if you're a night trustee, which is the top level, you get a dedicated thank you screen at the end of every single video with your picture, your name, all you. So if you're interested in joining, there's a link in the description below and in the corner of this video right now. All right, so let's go over our latest Patreon night trustees first. First, we have Anthony de Paula. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Anthony, thank you so much for becoming a top tier supporter of the Knight Rider Historians. And Mark Kilo Enos. Mark, thank you so much for your support. Greatly appreciate it. Be sure to check out their dedicated thank you screens at the end of this video. We also have 2 new flag agents, Jeffrey Pfister. Jeffrey, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. And finally, Quasar Productions. So thank you, Mr. Productions, because I don't know your real name, for joining our flag agent team on Patreon. All right. So, and by the way, I think there's only a few more trustee spots left. We keep those pretty limited. So if you're interested, grab one while you can. All right, first question from First Dan 2000. Has there been any on-screen use of the function of the buttons Boost 1, Boost 2, and Eject Middle? Basically, what is Boost 1 and Boost 2? So there was never any on-screen use of Boost 1 or Boost 2. There is no eject middle. I've never seen an eject middle. There's obviously eject left and eject right, but there are buttons on some versions of the dash that just said eject L and eject R instead of eject left and eject right, but there was never an eject middle. That would hurt. You'd go right through the T-top bar, get split in half. That would be a terrible episode. Boost 1 and Boost 2. Actually, I feel like Boost 1 and Boost 2, I could be wrong. Someone out there check me, but in Night, it was either Night of the Drones, whenever Michael first gets into Kit in the semi with the new dash and Michael presses buttons on the pod. If you look, he might be pressing Boost 1 or Boost 2. Or am I thinking in the Rotten Apples, whenever one of the kids gets in Kit before Kit ejects him out into the hay pile, he's pressing a bunch of buttons, and I don't know if he pressed Boost 1 or Boost 2 there. I'm not sure. But what do they do? I don't know. What do we want them to do? There was never any on-screen use of them, so let's say Boost 1 did a little jump or gave a little burst of speed, and Boost 2 gave just a little bit of more. That's what we'll say that those do. All right. Next question from Martin Hunkin. Sorry, Martin. In the beginning, the headquarters of the Foundation for Law and Government was in the Greystone Mansion, but they moved to Arden Villa. Why did they do that? Despite this change of locations, Devon's office always looked the same. Is there any in-universe explanation for this change of location? Yes and no. So in the pilot, whenever you see Michael shot, the helicopter lands, and then you see this castle, that's supposed to be the Knight estate, not necessarily the Foundation for Law and Government. Later in that episode, we do see that the Knight estate is Greystone Mansion. We see Michael recovering there, running up the stairs. Welding and Devon are out there. So to me, the Greystone Mansion was the Knight estate. Arden Villa, which first premiered in Whitebird later on in season 1, to me, that's the Foundation for Law and Government. Now, that doesn't explain why Devon's office is the same in both locations. So that's that's definitely some kind of a continuity error. But to me, Greystone Mansion is the Knight estate, Arden Villa is Flag. All right, last question, Rich Gross. If it had not been for the train derailment and the resulting supply of Pontiacs, the show would have been much more limited in what they could have done with stunts. How do you think things would have been different for the show and its level of success without all those extra cars? Have you ever discussed that question with anyone who was part of the show? Rich, that is a fantastic question. To answer the last part, no, I've never discussed that with anyone involved with the show. But thinking through this, if they didn't get that supply of a dozen or so Pontiacs from the train derailment, my guess is the show probably would have been impacted. They probably would have used more miniatures than they did, and they probably would have introduced the miniatures earlier in the show. There would have been more use of the Flivver car, which was the Doom Buggy chassis, Volkswagen-powered jump car, one of the jump cars. They probably would have used that some more. I'm sure they would have purchased a few Trans Ams, or Pontiac maybe would have given them a couple more. But I don't know if the success would have been hurt or not. Possibly, because if they start replacing a lot of those jumps with models, that... Of course, they did it in season 2 a lot, and that didn't hurt. That didn't hurt the show at all. So, I don't know, but I'm thankful the train derailment happened, because that gave us many more real life crashes and jumps and all that stuff. So, all right. So again, if you're a Flag Agent Knight trustee, you want your questions answered, be sure to submit them on the Patreon messaging app, or the messaging function in Patreon. If you want to join, again, link down in the description below. We would love to have you there. All right, let's get back to the exciting work on the semi. So I got the first one sprayed. It's looking pretty decent. So now I'm going to continue for a while. I'll be back in a bit. I am exhausted. That took hours and hours and hours, but it really turned out nice. Oh yeah, all black. Look at that. Beautiful. So the paint I use is a paint primer, and it takes a while to dry. So I'm gonna close everything up here and just not disturb this whole area for a while. And for those of you wondering why I painted with all the doors open, well, there's like no breeze today. Everything's very calm, and I needed the ventilation. So there you go. And judging by everything I can see, there's no crap in the paint, so we'll call that a win. Oh, I am tired of painting. But I achieved my goal in 2 days. I finished welding, got everything scuffed, cleaned, painted. So once this is dry, we'll pull out the masking paper and you'll see the corrugated metal. I think that's going to be amazing. And then now we can start building the inserts for all these panels here. And then really, if you think about it, the walls in the garage and office are done. Done. Get the lights up. Jeez, before you know it, we're gonna be ready to put the carpet in. We gotta find the carpet. We're gonna be able to put the carpet in, build the wall units, do the lounge. This is a huge step forward. I don't think I'm realizing it until I'm saying it right now, but the fact that this is all painted means now we can really move forward. So hopefully, now that it's spring and the weather's warmer, you'll see more frequent progress on the semi. That's the plan. All right, the time has come. It is the next day. Everything's dry. Keeping these on so I don't get my fingerprints on everything, but let's go ahead and pull the masking paper off and see what this looks like. So excited. Now hopefully I can get this off. I mean, I know I can, but it might come off in other pieces. Exciting, isn't it? Finally. For all these months. There we go. Should we take the plastic off too? Oh, yeah. See, I'm glad I had a double layer. I don't know if you can see it, but I had that butcher paper up, but there is a little bit of overspray on this plastic too, so I'm glad I did double layer because that looks amazing. some areas where things are a little tight, but maybe test this out here. All right, that's enough for me to bring you in and show you how amazing this turned out. Look at this. Oh man. Oh, it's incredible. That is incredible. Oh, I can't believe how nice this turned out. Wow. I got a lot more to rip down. Amazing. Well, I guess I better continue getting this ripped out, because now I want to see the whole thing. All right, guys, I have removed pretty much all of the masking material. There's a little bit around the edge I've got to carefully pull up, but what do you think? A little dirt on the diamond plate too, but oh man, does this look incredible or what? It is super windy here today. The only deviation are tie downs for kit in the original holes where the tie downs were. So with the exception of the lights, the whole garage area is done just like that. This is going to be a year of big progress on the semi. Big progress on the semi. And here's what it looks like from the outside. This looks inviting, doesn't it? Like a Trans Am needs to drive up in there. Coming along. It is so cool to stand in the garage with the wall panels up. I mean, we're just missing kit. We need kit here. So now that this part is done, I really want to turn my attention to two things. One, all of the panels that go in the office area, the burnt orange fabric colored panels. So we're working on that. We're getting some fabric samples. They should be here any day now. Hopefully we can color match as best we can, get the fabric ordered, and get these inserts built. But the other thing I want to work on is above me, is the lights. So we've already got the cross members, as you've seen. So within each one of these rectangles, there's trim, and then there's 4 lights covered in an egg crate diffuser with dividers in them. Now, for those of you who aren't intimately familiar with the ceiling of the semi, I mocked one up down here. Now, it still needs painted and it's literally just sitting in here and I have to do some adjustments, but this is the general look we're going for. So you see, just like in the show, there's just a little lip right here, which you see in gray, and then bigger lips on the long ends here, which you see in white. Again, those all need painted. And then we've got these egg crate diffusers with, those are actually drop ceiling dividers. That's how they did it. And then we have the lights, which are all back there, that will go in here, and then we'll have a beautiful setup. So, I only have these 4 egg crate diffusers, but we need a lot more. How many do we need? 8 times 4 is 32, minus 4, 28 more egg crate diffusers. Those suckers are 20 bucks a piece. Do the math. We're looking, plus tax, like 600 bucks for all these egg crate diffusers. So it might be a little bit before we work up the funds to purchase all the egg crate diffusers. I've already purchased all of the trim, the white and the gray trim that goes around there. So I have enough for all of this, but and we already have all the lights. We literally just need 28 more egg crate diffusers. So If any of you guys are interested in helping out to defer those costs, if you remember, we have a Patreon, or not a Patreon, we have a semi-donor wall. So we started this a couple years ago, and the response has been ridiculous. We have like 400 and some names, 450 names on this donor wall. And what's going to happen is, just to give you guys an idea, so let's go out here, and I might have mentioned this in a previous video, I think I did. So we're going to go out here, so you can see this door, the names are going to go, we're going to have a plaque put on this door right here. Okay, so that door will open, and then when the semi's on display, all the names will be there. And then in here, we're gonna have like a hidden door. One of the burnt orange panels from the office is gonna push open, and that's how you're going to get in here. All right, so if you wanna get your name on the semi wall plaque, the easiest way to do that is to donate to our GoFundMe effort to restore the semi. There's a link down in the description below. If we can get just 6 of you guys, just 6 people to donate $100, we'll be able to buy all of the egg crate panels and literally finish the entire ceiling of the office and the garage. So if you're interested, link down below. We would greatly appreciate all of your support over the years. It's been amazing. This is the year that big things are happening in the semi. Once I got the garage area finished and I started mocking this up, I got really excited, highly motivated to get this whole area finished up. So, so there we go. That's where we're at. All right, that's all I have for today. That's a lot for today. I know it's been a while since we've had a semi update. Thank you guys for your patience. I'd like to think this video was worth it. And I promise there will be more frequent updates on the semi throughout this year, because like I said, this is, got to get this done. We got big plans, and the semi needs to be finished first. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate your help, and we'll see you next time.
Hello friends, it's me, Kit. When I'm not out fighting crime, I like to follow my friends at knightriderhistorians.com. Check it out.